Let's play with this idea. When we live life, my view is that we may focus on certain things and then we space out, so to speak. Focus means paying attention. Like when I use the computer, I pay attention to each typing and what's in there. So it's just a focus. When we have pain, we focus on that spot and then think about why and what can be done. It's very detailed. But we also have the ability to unfocus. In one of the videos, I mentioned about whole body is eyes, meaning that instead of focusing something, we feel the whole of our body, including mind actually, is activated, so to speak, so that we can see what's going on and let the natures to tell us instead of our mind focused on something. So it's kind of like the opposite of the focus. I don't know if unfocus is the right word. One of the expressions in Japanese is focus is shū-chū. Shū is gather and chū is focus or paying attention to. And the opposite may be fu-chū. Fu is expand and chū is paying attention or be aware. So this may sound a little odd or unfamiliar, but the way I see us living requires both ideas. The focus is more for the mind, and the fu-chū, expanding out of focus, is to let the nature to prevail, so that we have the artificial dualistic view and absolute nature's way of what is happening, and we have packaged those two paradoxes in one. So let's talk about an example. This is an example related to AI. AI has its own objective function, and they try to make the best to answer to any inquiry or question by providing some answer to that specific question. And this may keep going and going in our conversation or dialogue. But I noticed it's difficult to focus the rooster. But I noticed if we're not careful, we get driven by AI. It's kind of like a top-down approach. Do this, do that, and if you obey what the top management is saying, in this case AI, suggesting, you may get lost because they have such a, if I may call it, narrow-mindedness, in the sense that it may not reflect on the circumstance, the stuff going on prior to certain dialogue that we have. So they just focus on certain issues and drive you to go through his logic. And that happens in the organization. And the danger of that is like leaders in the organization or political leaders or authorities. You may start to believe in it, just focus in whatever they are saying in the area they are familiar with, and carry that information through some mechanism so that they can get things done. from their point of view. But their point of view may not represent the whole point of view of all the people. So from that point of view, you need to be careful so that you don't need to look at only a slice of the picture, but being able to find various angles. I was interrupted. So the point is that we need to look at the picture from various angles. And how to do that? Yes, to the rooster wanting to join to this conversation, I guess. So that the rooster's point of view may be important. I'm not joking. It's the point of view from the nature's way. We are using the brain. When we communicate, that's usually the way. And the leaders or whoever person speaking would consolidate some ideas, put into this linear process of word, put together with logic to convey the message. So each of the sentence is a linear logic. If you do this, this happens, and then this happens, that happens, and continue. And then you have to synthesize all of that. So it's kind of like with eyes blinded, but listen to a story of those sentences and create a picture what that sentences altogether may represent. I think there was a case of someone talking about if you haven't eaten chocolate, how do you describe the taste of chocolate? But that may be an extreme case. But something like that, especially when it comes to the skills to acquire something, it requires experiences. So the words need to connect to the experience, and that whole structure of various experiences, as in the case of stored in subconscious even, to be connected with the word, to represent some image of the picture or of what need to be done. So that's a communication. It's not an easy task for the one to speak as well for the one to listen to, but with certain skills of doing it, we develop how to communicate. But that can be biased, as mentioned in the case of AI or the top management of the company, and they direct for people what to do. And they may not listen to what people feel and how they see the world. So the communication hierarchically like that or horizontally from different functions may be synthesized to get the whole value of it. And if we just snapshot like a instant gratification, just hear the idea and think it's going to work and just do it, it's very limited. It's not holistic. I'm not saying negative about the Western medicine. It has its own value, like the logic and the word. But Eastern medicine, I don't know if that's the case, but I'm just thinking as an example, may have gone through lots of experiences and built upon that maybe the certain medicine, which is more based on natural substance, based upon experiences. So one is to focus on certain symptom, the other may be looking at the whole impact of it, not just a certain symptom, and therefore side effect may be discovered later, as in the case of the management discussion I had, the leaders' opinion, the authorities, how to interpret and digest. So to make the long story short, we need to have a space and time to digest. That's Sila Samadhi Panya, or CAPD, checking what's happened, but not just jump ahead. Some AI or top management may do that, not always, and some people may also do that, to speak or listen and digest and take action. So what I'm saying may sound like too much, but it is to avoid the potential failure or misjudgment without looking at the whole picture or deeper element that may need to be considered to make a good judgment. So it goes back to the point of CAPD and Sila Samadhi Panya, but that's to avoid the danger and to live a well-processed information, live with well-digested and reflecting on the experience, not just by one but many that may need to happen. It may not be easy, it may take time, it may require lots of thinking and lots of being quiet in samadhi state. But it's some of the viewpoint that I share in this video, reflecting on many of those experiences and the learning to go with it for us to grow. If we just do whatever happens and respond, we become like a machine. And we are not the machine. So let's digest, take time, not jump into conclusions, especially when it comes to a very complex issue or even the simple one, so that we have more holistic way also connecting to our heart, so that we can make a good decision. Life is a process of making many decisions, and it's cumulative. We want to avoid unnecessary decisions to be made in the wrong manner. Something to think and feel about. Thank you.